Well, it's been exactly 5 years to the day since Eidos Montreal released the impressive first-person role-playing game Deus Ex Human Revolution. A game that managed to both reboot a beloved franchise and stay wonderfully true to the original in all the right ways.
And now we're staring down the barrel of a sequel to that game, which makes it a sequel to a reboot, to a failed sequel, to a classic. Have you got that? Because this is Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Not gonna go all wonky on us now, Hansa, are ya?
Well, if I do, McCready, I guarantee you'll never see it coming.
Agent Jensen!
It's been 2 years since the major events of the Human Revolution, which, spoilers, involved an Illuminati plot that sent all the biomechanically augmented folk into a bloodthirsty rampage, causing a huge schism in society, with augmented people becoming a reviled and segregated underclass.
You reprise your role as Adam Jensen, aka Neo from The Matrix. He's the gruff, highly augmented super agent who once again finds himself tangled up in a web of conspiracies.
Now, we're not going to talk too much about the plot to avoid spoiling anything, but mostly the story focuses on your investigation into recent terror attacks. But of course, not everything is as it seems. Or is it?
I mean, I found it all a bit convoluted personally. There are quite a few different names and organizations thrown at you early on, which can be a bit much to follow.
You, me, the Juggernaut Collective, we're all trying to stop them. It doesn't mean turning a blind eye to.
Then help me find them.
And the story seemed to take a while to focus itself and kick back into gear.
Yeah, I know, just as the story was getting interesting, it's over. It's tough to say without spoiling stuff, but I wanted a better payoff for some of the things the story sets up early on. It almost felt as though there's a whole act missing from the end of the game. It's not a short game though, it's a decent 30 hours or so, but the ending just left me unsatisfied.
Deus Ex is a series that's known for having strong choice and consequence.
But if I don't go to the Prokowska district, the bomb maker dies, and we're back to square one.
Your call, man.
And there are a small handful of seemingly significant choices thrown your way, but I didn't really feel like there are any strong repercussions to any of them.
Yeah, I never felt like anything I did in the game came back to bite me in the end. There was one choice where I had to choose between saving a few important people or hundreds of innocent people. But then, in the end, I managed to do both.
Well, maybe you're just too good, Nick. I think if you can take action quick enough, certain things do change.
Yeah, but ultimately, that just takes the punch out of a big choice if nothing really matters. I did occasionally notice little bits of dialogue that acknowledged how I'd been playing, which was cool. When I played through a mission without killing anyone, for example, the guy at the end noticed that and seemed a little more responsive to talking things out with me as a result.
I want to thank you for holding yourself in check on the way in.
Another Deus Ex staple that I thought was a little bit lacking was the fact that there's only really one hub area to explore, which here is the city of Prague.
It's large and densely packed with places to explore and side missions, and it does evolve as the story progresses. Plus, the combination of Eastern European architecture with that future Blade Runner-esque aesthetic is beautiful. It actually reminded me a bit of Half-Life 2 City 17.
Yeah, it's actually a little daunting when you first start exploring. As soon as I left my apartment and I saw I could hack into my neighbors and everyone else's apartments, I was instantly distracted.
Access granted.
Snooping heaven, Nick.
You love a good snoop, don't you?
Yeah, I really love a good snoop.
In terms of core gameplay, not much has changed here since the last Deus Ex. It's still a first-person shooter sneaker hybrid, and you spend the majority of the game without even having a gun in your hand. And you can actually finish the game without killing anyone, which does appeal to my less violent side.
You didn't take that option though, did you?
No, I killed everybody all the time. But mostly you'll be simply investigating, exploring the world, and having conversations with people to find your next clue.
I found him a woman, found him a place, away from all this.
Yeah, I find people can be a little bit too chatty though, can't they?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of talking.
Prahadovos just got hacked.
And often I found the writing just a little exposition heavy.
I also found myself not really clicking with Jensen again. He's such a dour and humorless character.
Take a man like yourself, for example. Could have given you a sense of humor.
I'm funny enough as it is.
Well, I don't know, I like Jensen. I think he's just all business and he gets the job done. Go in guns blazing if you want, or talk your way out of situations.
There's no quick and quiet way for you to take me out. For your sake. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Or just try and avoid everyone and play super sneaky.
Yeah, I actually found playing this stealthily was quite fun, which is surprising given my well-documented lust for blood. It's satisfying sneaking past patrols and trying to find those hidden paths through levels.
There's always a convenient vent nearby, isn't there?
When in doubt, find a vent! And I like the improvements to the cover system, which now lets you point to a spot and quickly sprint over there. Makes stealthy play way smoother.
You've also got access to all the augments from the last game, which can improve you in pretty much every way possible. There's things like invisibility or X-ray vision, but this time out you also have a selection of even more powerful experimental augmentations, which can give you things like Titan armor and the ability to slow down time.
But the catch is, these special augmentations will overclock your system, which forces you to permanently disable one of your other augments, or else you'll experience glitches.
Cooled you right down.
And I loved this idea because it forces you to really specialize your build, but then they completely cop out of it by saying, oh, go do this side mission and you can upgrade everything as much as you want.
Yeah.
Like, way to commit!
I love having to make a tough choice like that, but give me an out and I'm gonna take it.
Giant cheater.
Still, I really love the RPG side of this. I'm not a cheater.
Yeah, someone said it on television.
I'm efficient. Getting praxis, which are your upgrade points, and deciding what to upgrade is always exciting. And all the upgrades are so tempting.
And another new thing to the game is this kind of crafting system. You find crafting parts in the world that let you quickly build various items or buff your guns.
I don't find myself using that much though. It always just seemed too expensive to justify. And so I never really bothered. There's also a sort of time trial mode called Breach, where you run through virtual reality levels trying to extract data as fast as possible.
That's it, Reaper. Now return to the exit and get out of there.
It's a surprisingly fleshed out mode with its own augmentations, upgrades, and campaign to progress through, and leaderboards to compete in.
And I was a little worried when I booted up the game and saw there are two different kinds of currency, just microtransaction alarm bells started going off everywhere. But I didn't see anywhere where you could actually pay money, so it looks like you can earn all of that by actually just playing the game. And while it's an interesting idea, I don't see too many people being hooked by this mode. Running through white rooms and clicking on black blocks isn't exactly what I came to a Deus Ex game for. I did also have some crashes to desktop though, but only a few in the space of 30 hours or so. That's not too bad, but it kind of is.
We should wrap this up though. Final thoughts?
Well, look, I know we've picked on it a fair bit, but I do think there's a solid RPG here. I just didn't like it as much as I did Human Revolution, so I'm giving it a 3.
Yeah, it definitely missed the mark in terms of story for me, but I still think the core gameplay and those RPG elements are still so smart and satisfying, so I'm giving it 3.5.